You'd be surprised by how many people destroy their own personal injury case before it ever starts, simply by talking to the insurance company. They ask you to give a recorded statement, and you're thinking, well, the truth is on my side, I might as well just talk to them. But after it's over, they then twist your words to give you a lowball offer and tell you why you deserve less money. And once they have your recorded statement on file, all of a sudden your options are a lot more narrow than they were before. You have less leverage, less payout, and a much harder fight ahead. My name is Max the Axe, the gold standard in personal injury, and I've seen this happen far too many times where people give recorded statements, and as a result, it costs them thousands or even their entire case. This video is going to break down what to say and what not to say, and when to just keep your phone off so that you don't give the insurance company any ammunition to destroy your case. All right, let's get into it. Why speaking to an insurance company before a lawyer can destroy your Texas injury claim. Right after a crash, a lot of people think maybe I should just talk to the insurance company just to get the ball rolling. And this makes sense because you want to get your bills paid, you got property damage on your car, and the medical bills are piling up. But here's the problem with that. Insurance companies are not in the business to help you get money for your claims. They're in the business of closing out their claims for as little money as possible to you. So when you talk to the insurance company before you truly understand your legal rights, it's like playing Texas Hold'em with your cards face up. Now let's break down how they use those early conversations with you. Number one, you think you're being honest. They think that you're creating evidence. Here's what happens on that first call. They sound friendly. They ask you how you're doing, how you're feeling, and they just want your side of the case. And when people hear that, they open up. They want to talk. They want to be cooperative. They say things like, I'm okay. I'm just a little sore. It's not that bad. I didn't see them until the last second, or I might have been distracted. And that feels like a normal human conversation. But to an insurance adjuster, that's not a normal conversation. That is a list of statements that they can use later. Because 2 weeks from now, when you're in physical therapy or you need an MRI for your back, that insurance adjuster is going to say, you told me you were feeling fine. And now you're fighting uphill, and you didn't even realize that you started the fight. And that's why we slow everything down early. It's not to be difficult. It's to prevent you from accidentally minimizing your case to the insurance company. Now let's talk about why Texas makes this even more dangerous. Texas fault rules give them a huge incentive to twist your words. Texas uses what is called a modified comparative fault system. And here's what that means in plain English. If they can push enough blame onto you, your entire compensation gets reduced. And if they can paint it so that you look 50% or more to blame for the crash, then you can't recover anything from the other driver. That's why insurance adjusters are trained to look for fault language. They want you to say anything that sounds like you were at least a little bit at fault for the crash, even just a little bit. They might ask you questions like, how fast were you going? Were you using a GPS? Were you listening to the radio or music? Did you see the other driver coming? Were you in a hurry? Did you have somewhere to be? Did you have an appointment that you had to get to? And if you answer these questions casually, you might accidentally give them the soundbite that they need. You might say something like, well, yeah, I was using GPS and I only needed to look away to the GPS for a second or two. That one line can turn into claimant admits distraction. And now your claim gets reduced, not because you were at fault, but because you gave them a talking point that they can latch onto. This is why the first conversation matters so much. Now let's get into the biggest trap of all, the recorded statement. The recorded statement trap. Here's a key fact. You are not required to give any recorded statement to the other driver's insurance company after a Texas car crash. The insurance company will act like you're obligated to do it. They'll say something like, this is just part of the process. They might even say, you can't move forward without it. That is just unnecessary pressure. It's not the law. And the reason they want it recorded is pretty simple. They want to lock you into certain answers before you see the full picture. Right now, you're still in pain. You haven't seen a specialist yet. You have no idea what the future holds for your injury. And now you're trying to describe a crash that happened extremely fast while you're stressed out. That is a perfect environment for saying things too quickly and making mistakes. Not lies, the truth is still on our side, but making mistakes and saying things too quickly without thinking them through. You might make a guess about a certain detail about the crash that you're not really sure about. The wrong time, the wrong lane, the wrong sequence, or you don't add enough context to explain what you're saying. And then later, when the evidence is clearer, they will say that you're inconsistent. So this is the best move when the other driver's insurance company calls you to make a recorded statement. You say, "I'm not giving a recorded statement right now. I need to speak to my attorney first." That's it. Then you stop talking. Now, a quick clarification about this. Your own insurance company may require cooperation depending on your insurance policy, especially if you're going after and using benefits from your own insurance policy. But that is a separate situation from talking to the other driver's insurance company. For the other driver's insurance company, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to give them any statement whatsoever. Now, even if you avoid the recorded statement trap, there's another reason why these early calls can hurt you. Injuries don't always show up right away. They call early because your injuries are still invisible. Insurance companies move fast for a reason. They want to talk to you before you know what's wrong, because a lot of crash injuries show up later. In the day of the crash, your body produces enough adrenaline to keep you from feeling the full extent of your injuries. Whether it's whiplash, concussion symptoms, back injuries, shoulder injuries, people might feel okay on day one, but then after day 3, they really feel the pain starting to manifest in their body. They can't turn their head, they can't sleep well, and even moving small amounts can bring them tremendous pain. So if you tell an adjuster that you're fine early on, everything that happens after that is treated with a lot of suspicion. They'll say things like, "Well, why are you complaining now? Why did you wait? And it seems like it got worse for some other reason, not the crash." So the safest approach is this. On day 1, don't diagnose yourself. Leave it to the professionals. Instead, stick to the facts that you know. You were in a wreck, you're going to get checked out by a doctor, you're waiting for the full medical evaluation. This protects you and helps keep your case clean. Now, here's the part that people really don't like hearing, but it is true. Insurance adjusters are trained negotiators. Adjusters are not your friends, they are closers. An adjuster might sound kind. They might sound concerned for your well-being. They might even sound like they're trying to make your life easier, but they have a job, and that job is to close your case on the cheap. So they're going to do things like ask the same question multiple times to see if they're going to get a different answer. They will try to get you talking while you're emotional. They might even get you to agree with the way that they are framing the case. Something like, "So you didn't see where he was coming from, right?" They'll create fake urgency with responding to them. They'll say things like, "We need your answer today," or "This offer expires in 2 days," or "We're trying to help you." That is not help. That's building momentum on their side to put pressure onto you. And that kind of momentum is why certain people who have been injured through no fault of their own end up signing bad deals with the insurance company. And this takes us to our next trap, the quick settlement. The quick settlement trick. A quick settlement sounds great when you're stressed out. They offer you a check and they say this way you can move on. But here's what comes with it. A legal document that's called a release agreement. Once you sign that release, your injury claim is basically over. Even if you find out later that you need surgery, even if you miss work way longer than you expected, even if your medical bills skyrocket. And most of the time, there's no reopening the case. And that's why these quick settlements are pushed on you before you have any medical clarity of how serious your injury is. The insurance company is betting that you will trade away long-term relief for short-term gain. And I understand, people have bills, but getting the cheap, fast money is not the same thing as getting a fair compensation for what you deserve. Now, there's one Texas-specific thing that a lot of people don't realize. There are a lot of drivers out there driving with just the minimum liability policy limits. Texas minimum policies can cap the easy money, but not the whole case. Texas drivers are only required to carry minimum insurance policy limits. and those limits can get eaten up really fast in a serious injury crash. Sometimes even the first emergency room visit can be greater than the minimum policy limits. So if you talk too soon or you sign the release too soon, you may never actually find out if there are other ways to recover. For example, using underinsured motorist coverage on your insurance policy, or potentially a third-party liability if the defendant was driving for a company. The point is not to turn this into a complicated legal lecture. The point is simple. If you settle too fast, you may be settling blind. So let's get practical. If talking to the insurance company too soon is a mistake, what should you do? What you should do instead, a simple roadmap. If you're in a Texas car accident, here is the safer play. Step 1, get medical attention, even if you feel mostly okay. Step 2, document everything you possibly can. Photos, videos, witnesses, write down everything that you can. Step 3, notify your own insurance company about what happened, but keep it simple and stick to the facts. Step 4, do not give a recorded statement to the other driver's insurance company. Step 5, never talk about the crash on social media. Even just saying, "I'm fine," can turn into a nightmare. And finally, step 6, talk to a Texas personal injury lawyer before you get pulled into long conversations with any insurance company. And if you get that phone call from the other driver's insurance company, here is your exact script. "Thank you for calling. I'm not giving a recorded statement right now. I would like to speak to an attorney first." That's it. That's all you have to say. Be calm, be polite, but be firm. Now, a quick recap because this is the core. Quick recap. The wrong move can destroy your claim. Speaking to the insurance company too early can wreck your Texas car accident claim for multiple reasons. They use your words to downplay injuries. They use your words to shift the fault onto you. They push recorded statements that you don't have to give to the other side. They rush you into settlement before you know the full medical picture. And once you sign that release agreement, it's usually over. So protect your claim before it starts. Slow it down, get checked out, document everything. And most of all, get some legal advice before you talk to them. Your next step to protect yourself. Now, if you're wondering what to do when the other driver's insurance company actually makes you an offer, you will not want to miss my next video. Should I accept an early settlement offer from the other guy's insurance company after a car accident? I break down the risks, the traps, and what to do to best protect your rights. Don't leave your future in the hands of the insurance company. So click on the next video. That way you don't make a costly mistake. I'll see you over there.